Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nolly, and I am the Comic Hero. On this episode, I'm celebrating Veterans Day. Now, Veterans Day is when we honor the men and women that have served in any branch of the U.S. military who are still with us today. And as I promised on past episodes, here on the desk are 4 pop vinyls and a mug, each representing a branch of the U.S. military. I have Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Marines, and Navy. And I want to take this time to thank each and every one of y'all that are watching this that have served our country and are still with us. I want to thank y'all, and I also want to thank your families as well, because it's always, you know, I just love you. Anytime you see videos of servicemen or servicewomen coming home and seeing their families, I mean, you just cannot get enough of that. I mean, that is like those are some of my favorite videos. And we need to be a lot more respectful towards our veterans. I mean, these folks have served in a lot of these folks in tours of duty, they've suffered both physical and mental injuries. And they don't see the world the same now that their services are over. So we need to do whatever we can to help these people. I mean, just thanking them isn't enough. I mean, that's great, but it still isn't enough. I mean, we need to help them. I mean, if they're hungry, feed them. I mean, take them out to dinner, or if you can cook for them. If there's a project they're working on, help them. If they need clothes to wash them for them. I mean, you name it. We just be great to them. I mean, we need to be good to each other, but we need to be great to our veterans. We wouldn't have much of a country without them. All right, this is a Veterans Day edition Comic Hero tee. Inside the speech bubble, you have the digital camouflage. And then here on the left sleeve, you have "Thank you, veterans," because that's my way of thanking them. And then here on the right sleeve, you have the American flag. And that's the way that a lot of servicemen and servicewomen have the American flag patch on. And I learned that they do that because it's all about moving forward. And that's the way I want to do it. I always believe in moving forward myself. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, last week's episode, I asked true or false. Barry Allen was the only Flash that's ever been a member of the Justice League. Well, the correct answer is false. Wally West also served as a member of Justice League, and after the events of Infinite Crisis when Bart Allen aged 5 years, he was a member of the Justice League. So the correct answer is false, and 10 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, your name's been entered in the drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Morgana Birch from Homer, Louisiana. So congratulations, Morgana. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Spider-Man question. Which Spider-Man villain switched bodies with him and even called himself the Superior Spider-Man? All right, here are the hints. The first hint is that this villain debuted in The Amazing Spider-Man #3 in 1963 and was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And the second hint, this villain appeared in the movie Spider-Man 2 from 2002 and Spider-Man No Way Home from last year and was played by Alfred Molina. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Now, the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown segment is usually reserved for fans to make requests. But every once in a while, I like to come up with one. And this one features two characters with military backgrounds going up against each other. One from the DC Universe and one from the Marvel Universe. And they're both offsprings of two awesome characters. Representing DC, we have Rick Flag III. And representing Marvel, we have Nick Fury Jr. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Rick Flag III versus Nick Fury Jr. Rick Flag III is a master military tactician and strategist and a master in armed and unarmed combat. Nick Fury Jr. initially appears to have no superhuman qualities, but he inherited his father's Infinity Formula at birth, showing his aging process, speeding his healing time, and granting him peak human physical fitness. Who would win? Fury would have the slight upper hand with his upgraded fitness, but the fight would still be evenly matched. Flag would fight with an increased amount of urgency, but not for the reason you think. I'll explain that later. Flag would deliver a series of punches and kicks, but due to Fury's stamina, Flag would feel the brunt of his own attacks. Fury understands that something isn't right. He looks at Flag, and the latter slightly points at his neck. Fury then delivers a karate chop to the side of Flag's neck. Prior to the fight, Flag had a bomb implanted in his neck. Amanda Waller told him that if he quit or didn't win the fight, the bomb would detonate. The fight abruptly ends, and the two go out for a beer. America wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed that fight. And if y'all want to make some requests of your own, you know my rules. The first rule is that it has to be a comic book or manga character. The second rule, the comic book or manga character can go up against another comic book or manga character, a video game character, or a series-minded cartoon character like Optimus Prime, Lion-O, Voltron, anyone like that. And make sure that your fight makes sense. I mean, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense for the Human Torch to go up against, I don't know, Ben Urich from The Amazing Spider-Man. Just saying. Alright, now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there's two things I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and here's the first. Now, as I'm doing this episode, it's November 11th, and this is the release date of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. It's out in theaters right now. I'm not going to be able to see it today, and it's probably going to be a while until I finally do, but when I do, I'm definitely going to give my review. Now, from what I've heard from other folks that have seen early screenings of it, it's a masterpiece. Gayle King from CBS Mornings even said, if you're going to go see this movie, don't walk, run to see this movie. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, and all I have to say is, Wakanda Forever. Alright, and the second thing, and this is something that I just found out a few hours ago. This one really hurts. I just found out that legendary voice actor Kevin Conroy passed away. And he passed away yesterday from a brief battle with cancer. For those of y'all who don't know who Kevin Conroy is Batman. I always say that there are two Batman. There's the Batman that appears in the comic books, and then there's Kevin Conroy. And Kevin Conroy has played the voice of Batman for the last 30 years. It all got started with Batman, the animated series in 1992. He would go on to play the same voice again in the new Batman Adventures, and then in Justice League Unlimited, and several other projects, whether they're cartoons or video games. And here's the awesome thing that he did. He also played a physical role as an elderly Bruce Wayne in Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover series that involved all the DC shows that were on the CW at the time. And when I found out about that, I was completely blown away. And when I saw that, I said, yeah, he's definitely Batman. I mean, there have been other actors that have played the physical role of Batman, but Conroy, personified that role, not just for my generation, but for generations to come, and he'll be sorely missed. Now, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't read an issue of Batman or any other Batman-related book or any other book that he appeared in and didn't use my Kevin Conroy voice while I was reading it. I did. And when I found out about this, I was in complete disbelief. I mean, this has been a year where a lot of folks in the industry, whether it's comic books or anything within the realm, have passed on. A few days ago, one of my favorite comic book artists, Carlos Pacheco, passed away after a battle with ALS. Now, Pacheco, he had penciled books like Superman, Batman, the Superman book by itself, and then X-Men, Fantastic Four, I mean, you name it. Oh, and also Avengers. He was on a temporary series called Avengers Forever. Not the one that's out now, but then there was one that came out around the time I graduated from high school. And, I mean, he was an amazing artist. And I guess this is the third thing that I'm going to talk about. Now, Pacheco, oh, man, I mean, we already lost Tim Sale and George Perez and Neil Adams earlier this year. But one thing that I have to say is that death is not only something we have to go through. Death is never the end. Now, it's the end in terms of our time here on Earth, but it's not the end, period. And honestly, there's going to come a time where we're going to see it. We're going to see all these folks. We're even going to see Stan Lee. We're going to see Christopher Reeve. You name it. All these folks in the industry that have gone on, we will see them again. And for this time, I just want to say to Carlos Pacheco and Kevin Conroy, thank you, and you will be missed. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week. All right, first up is Avengers number 62. The Amazing Spider-Man number 13. Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day Omega. Batman Incorporated number 2. Really enjoying this book. Batman vs. Robin number 3. Sad that this book is coming to an end. Blood Syndicate Season 1 number 6. Captain America Sentinel Liberty number 6. It's almost over. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths number 6. And honestly, I had second thoughts about buying this one. The Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special. And check it out, double cover. Fantastic Four number 1. I Am Batman number 15. Legion of X number 7. Marauders number 8. Radiant Black number 19. Sabretooth and the Exiles, number 1. Spider-Man, number 2. Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt, number 1. Superman: Son of Kal-El, number 17. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 134. Venom, number 13. Wolverine, number 27. Wonder Woman, number 793. And finally, X-Men Legends, number 4. All right, that's 23, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 11,699. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Which Spider-Man villain once switched bodies with them and even called himself the Superior Spider-Man? Now, here are the hints again. The first hint is that this villain debuted in The Amazing Spider-Man number 3 in 1963 and was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And then the second hint, this villain appeared in the movie Spider-Man 2 from 2002 and Spider-Man No Way Home from just last year and was played by Alfred Molina. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Morgana Birch from Homer, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. All right, here's the road ahead for the show. On next week's episode, I'm going to raise awareness of adoption. Now, I know some folks that have gone the path of adopting children, and I also know some folks that themselves were adopted. This episode is for them because adoption just isn't a process; it's a journey. I mean, taking a child that has no family and bringing them into a family, there's nothing. I mean, I can't think of anything more beautiful than that. And on episode 423 in 2 weeks, I'm raising awareness of diabetes. Now, diabetes is a condition that happens to a lot of folks throughout the world, and then there are some folks that don't really know anything about it, and there are folks that have diabetes and don't even know they have it. And on that episode, I'm going to raise awareness of it. I'm going to let y'all know some info on it, because I believe we know better when we do. I mean, we do better when we know better. I was about to say it backwards. All right, on episodes 424 through 427, and this is tentative, by the way, and I'll explain in a minute. Christmas episodes. Now, every episode on the show will be Christmas episodes. Now, I say that's tentative because, now, if y'all remember last year, I was going to do a Christmas episode, but then my alma mater, the Homer High School Fighting Pelicans, won their first state championship since 1939. And right now they're in the playoffs, and they have a first-round bye. So if they happen to win, then there will be 3 Christmas episodes instead of 4. And on that one, I'm going to celebrate my alma mater. Now, if you're watching this, if you're a player on the football team, if you're a coach, if you're on the support groups, if you're a student, if you're a teacher, if you're on staff, all I have to say is be safe, be blessed, be heroes, go Pels go, and let's go back to back. And on episode 428 is going to be my year-end college football playoff edition of the show. Now, right now, it's getting even crazier. There's a brand new number 1, or rather, someone that's retaken the number 1 spot. And it could, I mean, it's really crazy. And when I find out which teams are going to be in the college football playoffs, I'll let y'all know. And then I'll also wear Comic Hero tees representing all 4 schools. And on episode 429, it's the first episode of 2023, and I'm also going to wear a Comic Hero tee for that. All right. Once again, I want to thank all the men and women who are U.S. veterans, and I want to thank y'all for your tours of duty. I want to thank y'all for being living testimonies, and if there's anything that I can do for y'all, please let me know. And also, while I'm thinking about it, and this is in regard to the Veterans Day Comic Hero tee, if you want to order one and you're a U.S. veteran and you want your last name and then the branch that you serve, please let me know. I will make it happen, and I will not charge y'all extra, and I may throw something else in. And then I failed to say this on episodes for the last 2 months, but I recently started a line of NFL Comic Hero tees. And if you're a fan of the show and you're a fan of any of those NFL teams, go ahead and do so. Go ahead and buy one. It's on IamTheComicHero.com. They're $20 no matter what size. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on The Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 422. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and thank you, vets.